discuss these one by one. So today we basically studied Western philosopher thinkers, where I taught you Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Confucius, Locke, etc. So for each thinker, I told you that you need to remember only 2 or 3 points, not more than that, so that there is no clutter in your mind with respect to teachings of these thinkers, and so that only 2 or 3 crisp ideas are present with you so that you can use them in your answers. And for each thinker, I kept on telling you the usage of those theories with respect to case studies or with respect to section A questions. On your screen, you can see the gist of the same. Now let me explain you again one by one so that you are basically able to revise what we have studied just now. So first thing, Socrates. This was the question that was asked by UPSC previously. Unexamined life is not worth living. So, unexamined life as a principle. Now you can write in your answers. If ever there is a question with respect to life, virtues as such, you can quote Socrates that unexamined life is not worth living. Hence, I will lead a Socratic ideal life. Socratic ideal life, which is driven by self awareness, self regulation, and self development. So that I am aware about my emotions, my actions, my behavior, and hence I am able to contribute to the society as such. Then I had also taught you about Socratic ideal man, which we also used in case study, in the case study that we studied in class just now. So Socratic ideal man basically is one who believes only in taking just actions as per virtues, and he is not worried about personal consequences. So any case study, any damn case study, be it from private sphere or applied ethics or public sphere, if there is a angle of personal consequences in that case study, you can use Socratic ideal man as conclusion or as merit, demerit, etc. Okay. Then we studied about Plato. I taught you about eudaimonia principle, wherein he states that the goal of life is happiness, is eudaimonia. Now what is eudaimonia? Eudaimonia basically तीन चीजें बोलता है. First is that you are not only living a good life but also a purposeful life. So purposeful life क्या होती है? That is a virtue driven life. There are 4 virtues. पहला है आपका पहला वर्च्यू है आपका प्रूडेंस, देन यू हैव जस्टिस, देन फोर्टिट्यूड एंड टेम्परेंस. प्लस देयर वर अदर वर्च्यूज एज वेल दैट वर इंटेलेक्चुअल वर्च्यूज, theoretical wisdom, practical wisdom, understanding, craft, science, etc. So you will live not only purposeful life but virtuous life, so that overall your life is happy. Soul, I taught you there are 3 parts of soul: rational, second is spirited, third is appetitive. Rational part of soul basically craves for thoughts, craves for knowledge, etc. The spirited part wants courage as well as honor, and appetitive part is materialistic. I explained it to you with your own example that as aspirants right now you are being rational as you are craving for knowledge. When you just get selected, you might crave for the spirited part, that is you will crave for honor. And I hope you will not be driven by the third part in the longer run, that is you will not be materialistic. And he says that these 3 parts should be in coherence with each other, there should be homogeneity there, and these should be balanced with reason. So if I am seeking knowledge, that should be reasoned. Why I am seeking knowledge, how I want to seek knowledge, what is the purpose of that knowledge, I should be aware of that. If I am seeking the spirited part of the soul, then also I should know why I am seeking this honor. So I should be having reason for each and everything. Then only I will be able to live a happy and purposeful life. So that is about this concept. He also gave concept of philosopher king, which I extrapolated to civil servants. Now do not take a literal meaning of philosopher king, treat them as good civil servant to use those concepts in case study. So उसमें मैंने आपको बताया that philosopher king should be virtue driven, he should have wisdom, and he should be rational. In case studies, you need to be virtue driven, you need to have wisdom, practical and intellectual wisdom, and you should be rational. ये प्रिंसिपल्स को इसलिए आप केस स्टडी में सीधा सीधा लिख सकते हो. उसके बाद मैंने आपको एरिस्टोटल बताया जिसमें वर्च्यूज, ओके, वर्च्यूज आर कॉमन बिटवीन प्लेटो एंड एरिस्टोटल, दोनों में ही लिख सकते हो. सो एरिस्टोटल में थ्योरेटिकल विजडम, प्रैक्टिकल विजडम, वर्च्यूज एंड गोल्डन मीन. गोल्डन मीन इज मध्यम मार्ग. रेस्ट ऑफ द प्रिंसिपल्स आई हैव टॉट यू अगेन. Confucius, while he basically cares about hierarchy and seniority, he also mentioned about means versus ends, where his thoughts are different from the thoughts of Machiavelli. Machiavelli says that ends justify the means. He says that ends do not justify the means. The means should be ethical. ठीक है. तो if there is a case study wherein there is a you have a senior who is directing you to do a certain task, so as a solution or as a conclusion or as a merit demerit, you can integrate the learnings of Confucius, wherein you will write that though it is expected from a civil servant to follow hierarchy, to follow seniority, but he should also follow the Confucius principles of means versus ends and Confucius के virtues of good official, which includes honesty and righteousness. तो ये उस केस स्टडी में आ जाएगा. आइडियल मैन केस स्टडी में आ जाएगा जिसमें पर्सनल कॉन्सिक्वेंसेस है. दिस यू विल राइट इन केस स्टडी वेयर देयर इज सर्टेन काइंड ऑफ प्रेशर ऑन यू फ्रॉम योर सीनियर. Locke, I clearly told that he is not that applicable in case study, but again, if the senior is asking you to do a certain thing which is not legal or ethical, you can mention about separation of powers, and you can also mention about upward and downward accountability, which I taught you. Then other three thinkers which can be easily used in case studies are Hobbes, Durkheim, and Rousseau. So Hobbes says that in state of nature, human is self-interested, human is driven by self-preservation, and hence you can use them in demerits, as we saw in the case study that we discussed in the end. So human is self-preserving by nature. That means that the actions are driven by fear. Actions are driven to save one's own skin, to fulfill one's own personal interest in line with ethical egoism, as also postulated by Ayn Rand. Plus, there is a survival instinct involved with human, and that is why he said that if n number of people are involved in self-preservation and self-interested exercises, then it can lead to anarchy in society, and hence he postulated theory of social contract. Durkheim, I taught you about collective conscience, which goes beyond mere individual conscience. So Durkheim is not worried about only interest of a particular individual or set of individuals or a particular society, but society as a whole, world as a whole, collective conscience. So there are other principles associated with it. For example, solidarity, that the rich are in solidarity with the poor. There is cohesion, that various sectors, various groups of society, be it linguistic, be it religious groups, etc., are in cohesion with each other. And lastly, that they have shared values, they are driven by shared values for a common purpose. So collective conscience can be easily written as part of justifying the course of action, that I have taken the above course of action and it is a holistic one, as it caters to various dilemmas and challenges, not only from individual point of view but from point of view of society as such. So collective conscience आ जाएगा. Last applicable thinker is Rousseau. Even though we studied about 11-12 thinkers today, 4 three, four I have left out because they were not directly applicable in case studies. So Rousseau says that his view was different from that of Hobbes. Hobbes says that in state of nature, man is self-interested. Rousseau says that in state of nature, the natural man is good. He is not corrupt. He gets corrupt because of the desires and because of entering the society. So natural man का concept you can try to integrate in case studies. General will is very easy to write. It is more or less similar to collective conscience, that in general will you are not worried about individual interest but interest of the society, collective interest of society as such. And as part of conclusion or as part of justifying the course of action, you can write that the course of action or the solution presented above uh, caters to demands of not any individual interest as such, but collective general will of society. So, this is how you have to study thinkers. There is no point of studying 50 thinkers, 10 points each, having a 10-page notes of thinker subject, thinkers topic only with 500 points, and then having a clutter in your mind and not being able to use even one point in your answers. So, in today's session, we studied a number of thinkers, and my focus for each was practical usage of thinkers in your answers and case studies.